Right now at 5, Parsons police reach out to Good Samaritans who helped the victims of Wednesday's house fire.
And we've got a pretty decent start to the day once again. It's going to be warmer than where we have been, but we still have thunderstorm chances on the way later tonight. Take a look at that forecast. Get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the city of Joplin's plan for fogging neighborhoods to deal with mosquitoes.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. So it is a finally Friday once again in the 4 states. Got a weekend ahead of us. Got some rain and some storms this weekend, unfortunately. But that's just, c'est la vie. That's the way it is. But most of today looks to be pretty good. In fact, we're even going to be considerably warmer than where we have been the last several days across the area. Getting a little closer to 90 for some of us today. And
pretty warm.
Got a pretty decent start this morning. See, there's those temperatures. Take a look, though. We got a little boundary out there that's separating some of the warmer weather, keeping it back to the southwest, where we've got low, mid, and even upper 60s. I mean, take a look at Bonita at 58. And as you get a little further north and east, it gets considerably cooler. 56 in Stockton, low to mid 50s. Mid to upper 50s. It's been a long morning already. And some low 60s out there this morning. Now, as we go through the rest of this morning, it's going to be, again, a pretty decent day. We're looking at sunny skies. There may be a few passing clouds here or there. And the temperatures, again, much warmer. We're going to have more sunshine. I have a southerly breeze picking up by this afternoon. Not too gusty, but just enough to bring in considerably warmer air out there as we start cruising into the mid to upper 80s. And as mentioned, some of you can get pretty darn close to 90 degrees. We have some incoming thunderstorm chances as we head into the evening and overnight hours, and then maybe even some additional storms tomorrow night into Sunday. We'll look at all that in detail with the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, Parsons, Kansas authorities applaud the efforts of Good Samaritans who helped rescue a family from a house fire. Police are releasing more information about the victims of that fire that broke out at a home on South 22nd Street in Parsons Wednesday afternoon. They say a mother and 3 young daughters were all taken to a Tulsa hospital by a medical helicopter. One of those daughters, a baby, is now in the care of relatives. The other 2 girls are ages 5 years and 18 months. No word yet on their current conditions or the condition of the mother. A man and a young boy apparently escaped from the home unharmed. Police tell us they've been talking with a number of Good Samaritans who helped rescue family members from the home and helped EMS with the initial triage. Investigators are trying to determine the cause of the fire. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The Mercy Cancer Center in Joplin yesterday hosted a picnic for cancer survivors. The picnic had a 60s and 70s theme, and guests were able to learn about the stories of survivors and the care team who celebrates their survivorship with them.
This is something that the staff and everyone looks forward to so much. It's a celebration of life, and for everyone who has fought the battle, is fighting the battle, or will fight the battle, we're here. It's a chance to have fellowship and good times.
Attendees were also able to paint a rock for Mercy's Rock Garden. Well, a couple of weeks before the official start of summer, and Joplin's mosquito fogging efforts are well underway. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
The Joplin Health Department's fogging season started in April. According to the Assistant Director of Health, the need for spraying increased after a wet spring.
It's primarily complaint driven, which the complaints are tied to how much rainfall we're getting. We get more complaints during the rainier times of the year, and so that drives more demand, and so we're fogging more during those times.
Blankenship says the chemical used is not a restricted use pesticide. It can even be bought over the counter.
So the fog itself, we apply that at like 4 in the morning. We try to avoid people and pets. If we see anyone out, we'll terminate those operations. it typically dissipates in about 15 minutes.
The fog truck is targeting parks in wooded areas. According to the assistant director, residents can take their own precautions to combat the mosquitoes.
Some hot spots could be bird baths, swimming pools, cleaning out your gutters. Those are really good places for mosquito larvae to grow. They catch, water and leaf debris, and they're shaded. So,
reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
And the Joplin Health Department's fogging season ends late July. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The head coach for Pitt State Track and Field earns a national award. Plus, pizza tossers take to Argentina for the World Pizza Competitions in Buenos Aires. And we have another warm and partly cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Well, the Pitt State outdoor track and field team continues to pile up national awards after winning the men's and women's national championships, and now the coaches are starting to receive some accolades. Pitt State head coach Kyle Rutledge was named the Coach of the Year by the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association. Rutledge led the Gorilla men to their third straight national title 2 weeks ago. He also led the women to their first outdoor national championship for the first time since 2016. And speaking of the women's team, his assistant, Jesse Miller, was named the Assistant Women's Coach of the Year. This is possibly the final game of the Division I women's college softball season. The Oklahoma Sooners are only one win away from a national championship. The four-peat is complete. The Oklahoma Sooners defeat their rivals, the Texas Longhorns, 8-4 to win their fourth straight national championship. Oklahoma becomes the first team in college softball history to win 4 straight national titles. Of course, congratulations to the Sooners. Royals at Guardians yesterday afternoon, taking on first place Cleveland in the third inning. Jose Ramirez is so dangerous at the plate, makes the Royals pay with a solo home run to give the Guardians a 2-1 lead. To the sixth inning, Kyle Isbell hits a grounder to Josh Naylor. The throw is on time, but MJ Melendez jumps over the tag, and he's ruled out. But the Royals challenge the play. After review, you can see Melendez gets his hand in there just in time, and he is now ruled safe. The game tied 3-3. To the top of the 8th, still at the same score, and Kyle Isbell comes in clutch with an RBI single to give the Royals a 4-3 lead. Kansas City gets a much-needed win. Royals beat Cleveland 4-3. An NFL update, a scary situation for the Kansas City Chiefs as defensive lineman B.J. Thompson experienced cardiac arrest during a team meeting on Thursday morning. Thompson was taken to the hospital and is currently in stable condition. The 27-year-old Thompson was a 2023 fifth-round draft pick of the Chiefs out of the Stephen F. Austin University. After a week of waiting, the NBA Finals is finally here. The Boston Celtics are set to face the Dallas Mavericks for Game 1 of the Finals. Game 1 takes place at the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, and it was all Celtics. Boston beats Dallas 107-89. Boston now leads the series 1-0. Game 2 of the Finals is scheduled for Sunday night at 7. Well, still ahead, we'll see why a marketing ban on vaping products has been lifted. Plus, another check of that forecast, including our weekend rain chances when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Topping Health Watch this morning, the FDA is asking states to take action to discourage or stop the sale of raw milk to the public. The concern is the exposure and possible transmission of H5N1 bird flu. In an open letter, the agency urged states to issue more stern warnings or consider using regulatory powers to curb the sale of raw milk in areas where dairy cattle have tested positive. Raw milk can carry high levels of the virus because bird flu appears to infect cows through their udders. It's not known whether humans can get bird flu by drinking contaminated milk, but 3 dairy workers exposed to the milk have been infected, as well as cats on farms with infected cows. A marketing ban on vaping products produced by e-cigarette maker Juul Labs has been lifted. Yesterday, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration announced marketing denial orders for the company products are rescinded. Juul confirmed its products can stay on shelves as a scientific review is done. A marketing ban was slapped on the company's products by the FDA in 2022, covering devices, tobacco, and menthol flavored pods. That order, however, was stayed weeks later to allow for additional scientific review, but the denial order at the time was not officially rescinded. The FDA says rescinding the marketing ban, quote, does not indicate whether the applications are likely to be authorized or denied. Regulators say no decision has been made on if products will ultimately stay on the market. Well, a new study finds xylitol may be linked to heart attack and stroke. The research was published Thursday in the European Heart Journal. The study finds the common low-calorie sweetener may be linked to nearly twice the risk of heart attack, stroke, and death in people who consume the highest levels of xylitol. It is used in many reduced sugar foods and consumer products such as sugarless gum, breath mints, toothpaste, mouthwash, cough syrup, and chewable vitamins. It's a sugar alcohol that's a carbohydrate found naturally in only tiny amounts in certain vegetables such as cauliflower, as well as in berries. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration recognizes sugar alcohols as generally recognized as safe. Xylitol in commercial use is made from corn cobs, birch trees, or genetically engineered bacteria. The Alzheimer's Association says animal therapy has been shown to improve mood and help with social interaction in people with dementia. That's why an Iowa nursing home is bringing in dogs to visit with residents living with the memory disease. Wafa Azat tagged along to visit.
At a senior care facility in Davenport, a special kind of therapy is at work, one that involves wagging tails and wet noses.
A lot of residents here are lost their autonomy, their independence. The animals bring a sense of calming to them, so as they're petting, they get that connection, that feeling back, so it's just a really great therapeutic tool that we like to use.
Therapy dogs like Freddie and Bailey provide more than just companionship. They spark social connections and spread smiles, all while supporting brain health.
Bringing tremendous joy to people, and then also seeing them cry because they miss their pets so much when they're in nursing homes and stuff like that. So.
It's just so rewarding to see the smiles on people's faces, how much we brighten their day.
You know, I had a cousin that had that.
Experts say social interaction with therapy dogs can result in lowered stress levels and blood pressure, and can even stimulate memory recall while providing emotional support for those individuals living with dementia.
It also, with people with dementia, when they are petting the dogs, it does, I believe, spark some memories. You'll see smiles on their faces. You'll see maybe a patient with dementia that has some agitation instantly calm down. So yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing. Everybody should do it.
And the fact that you're able to give that affection to an animal, that specifically will be great for your brain health, because in the early stages as well, we want to make sure that individuals stay socialized. And so this is a great opportunity for them to love on an animal. I remember a gal who specifically thought it was her dog, and it reminded her of her dog. And she went from not talking at all to talking a ton about her family pet. And so it's really any type of way that you can reminisce and engage with an animal specifically.
Staff at the IV at Davenport say many of the residents grew up with pets or had pets in the past. and the dogs bring back those memories.
Bringing in the animals oftentimes gives them that sense of what they had before they came to us.
And the senior facility is not the only place the therapy dogs visit. They've also made over 2,000 visits to hospitals, nursing homes, libraries, and schools. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got a beautiful start to what's going to be a warm and sunny day across the area. We do have thunderstorm chances coming in later tonight. We'll have a look at that forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, folks in Galena, Kansas yesterday came together for the start of Galena Days.
And it's going to be a warm and mostly sunny day out there, maybe a stray cloud or two ahead of thunderstorm chances later tonight. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a pair of 4-state drive-in theaters celebrate National Day of Recognition.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's just coming up on 5:29. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. So it is Friday in the 4 states.
Yes, finally Friday.
It is. Unfortunately, our weekend does look to be a bit on the damp side.
Yes.
So if you've got weekend plans, just make sure you are prepared for some scattered storms out there. However, today, if maybe you're off today or maybe you get the day, a half day, something like that, it's going to be an excellent opportunity to enjoy some very summer-like weather. Let's start with a look outside from MoDOT camera, 32nd and Range Line, and you can see clear skies there and a little bit of the daylight as the sun begins to rise across the 4 states. As we go through the majority of today, we are going to be dry, and we may have a passing cloud or two out there as we head into the afternoon, and temperature is going to be very warm. Could see a stray shower or two later this evening. I think most of us will remain dry, and then it won't be until later tonight, much later tonight, that we start to see showers and thunderstorms roll into the area. As such, though, we do have a risk for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms out there, mainly in the northern half of our area. And you can see that elevated risk just barely clipping Anderson County. That's again tonight into tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow night into Sunday morning, another low-end risk for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms out there. And then on Sunday, we're just looking at kind of a soggy day. Scattered thunderstorms throughout the day, so not rain all day, but it'll be off and on as we head through the day on our Sunday. Temperatures, we've got this little boundary here, so warmer off to the south and west, mid and upper 60s. And as you head to the north and east, we've got mid-upper 50s and some low 60s out there. So a bit of a cool start again for this time of year for a good number of us. But don't worry, we're all going to get in on that summer-like weather. Sunny skies, a few clouds here and there, going partly cloudy later this evening, and highs today upper 80s, getting close to 90 for some of us out there. As mentioned, we've got those thunderstorm chances increasing later tonight. We'll talk about those and the rest of the weekend in the full forecast here in a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, yesterday was National Drive-In Movie Day. The 4 states has 2 drive-in theaters, both of which are putting on special deals for their patrons. Moviegoers could either make their way to the historic Route 66 drive-in just outside of Carthage or the Barco Theater in Lamar. The Barco was showing movies on their new screen that was built after the old screen was damaged by storms.
We've had several donations from different area banks and just lots of other people, because the screen is owned by the Lamar Community Betterment. So and we just had lots of donations from the community towards keeping it going. Yeah. It's been a staple in Lamar, like say, since 1950. So.
The Route 66 drive-in allowed cars in free of charge and showed the Lego Movie. The Barco Theater in Lamar showed Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory for $5 per car. Bookhouse Cinema in Joplin will close its doors for the last time this weekend. While the 6-year-old theater venue will remain open until Sunday night, their management says last night was the last night for movies. The final showing for the final movie, I Saw the TV Glow, took place last night. The restaurant and bar will remain open through the weekend, but management says food and drink are limited and have sold out the last few nights, in part due to the first-time patrons. The Joplin History and Mineral Museum yesterday hosted a public meeting to discuss the Dover Outdoor Recreation Area, also known as DORA. The project revolves around biking activities for people of different skills and all ages. It would develop nearly 100 acres located south of Zora Avenue and east of Lone Elm Road. At yesterday's meeting, residents placed sticky notes on their ideas on a map of the project.
It's very exciting, mostly because I think it's very needed in our community. Thinking about just building better infrastructure for bike and walking trails, I think is very needed in our community. Mostly if it's going to be a protected park where folks of all different skills can access it and be a part of it as well.
The project will include more than 10 miles of bike trails, a pump track, and more. Well, seafood lovers in Joplin may soon need to dine elsewhere. Red Lobster, the company which became the world's largest seafood restaurant chain, filed for bankruptcy last month and wants to shut several dozen more restaurants. The Joplin location is on the list of possible locations to close, and the seafood chain says it has more than $1 billion in debt and less than $30 million in cash on hand. Closure of the Joplin location will be based on whether it can renegotiate its lease. Red Lobster has already shuttered 50 of its 600 locations. Well, folks in Galena, Kansas yesterday came together for the start of Galena Days. Last night's festivities included a dinner, live music, and a drawing for prizes. Officials say the three-day event is a great way to spend time with family and connect with the community. The event continues through Saturday with carnival rides, more prizes, and live music. It was also a special night in Frontenac as the Heritage Homecoming Mining Days kicked off. There was a silent auction, food and craft vendors, historical bus tours, and an old-fashioned carnival. The event is a celebration of the Frontenac community and its coal mining history. It runs through Sunday. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Leaders in Royals come together in Normandy to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the D-Day invasion. Plus, we're learning what effect of President Biden's new executive order on illegal immigration. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, pizza tossers take to Argentina for the World Pizza Competitions in Buenos Aires. Pizzalos flinging, flipping, even lighting on fire pounds of pizza dough, showing off their skills in the acrobatics freestyle competition. 174 participants coming from 14 countries across the globe, including Italy, Brazil, and Sweden. The championship includes various other categories, including Argentine mozzarella pizza and gourmet pizza, among others. The three-day competition is voted on by a panel of 30 members that include chefs, pizza makers, and other renowned gastronomic figures. Well, the President and First Lady of France joined Britain's King and Queen and veterans of World War II at a ceremony in the Normandy region of France yesterday to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the D-Day invasion. The ceremony at the British Normandy Memorial was attended by actors and celebrities, including Welsh singer Tom Jones, who also performed. King Charles and Queen Camilla could be seen chatting with war veterans. British actor Martin Freeman read an account from one of the men who took part in the battle. Tens of thousands of Allied nation troops died in the Battle of Normandy. The UK sent their youngest and bravest onto Normandy's beaches to begin the invasion of Nazi-occupied Europe on June 6, 1944. D-Day is often referred to as the beginning of the end of World War II. We're learning what effect, if any, President Biden's new executive order on illegal immigration is having along the southern border. Bill Malugin is in Jacumba, California with the story.
CBP sources tell Fox Border Patrol apprehended about 4,000 illegal immigrants the same day President Biden's new executive order took effect at the southern border, an order that bans asylum for illegal immigrants, with some exceptions.
Take it up.
Fox News witnessed this mass crossing into Jacumba, California this morning, as roughly 200 migrants from all around the world decided to illegally enter the U.S., apparently unafraid or unaware of President Biden's threats to deport them under his new order.
Where are you from?
Mauritania.
Mauritania.
China.
China. Where are you from?
India.
India.
I am from Brazil.
Brazil.
In San Diego this morning, Fox News was on scene as Border Patrol mass released illegal immigrants at a local trolley station. They are now free to travel around the U.S. following their release from federal custody. We also encountered this mass illegal crossing in Jacumba, predominantly made up of Venezuelan and Colombian nationals. And they also are not concerned about Biden's new order, which can drop during periods of lower crossings, but can also be reapplied if Border Patrol sees an average of 2,500 illegal crossings in 7 days.
¿A dónde vas en los Estados Unidos?
California, San Francisco.
San Francisco, ¿por qué?
Tengo unos familiares allá.
A Nueva York.
Nueva York, ¿por qué?
Allá tengo familia, me esperan allá.
¿Y usted, señor, a dónde vas en los Estados Unidos?
Diego.
San Diego? ¿Por qué?
Allá tengo trabajo.
And notably, President Biden's executive order exempts unaccompanied children. And we got brand new CBP data from our sources showing that since President Biden first took office, more than 503,000 of these unaccompanied children have arrived at the U.S. border.
Now to look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:43 now on this Friday morning here in the 4 states. Taking a quick look outside from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. Got a beautiful start to the day out there. Winds are already starting to shift out of the south, and that's going to usher in considerably warmer air for us. MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line. Again, clear skies as the sun comes up today. And the MoDOT camera down in Neosho at 60 and 59, looking back to the west. Again, just clear skies. We'll have a few clouds here and there as we go through today, and then we've got that thunderstorm threat as we head into tonight. So right now, no areas highlighted for a tornado risk, so that is good. That leaves that very low, but we do have a low wind and hail risk out there for the northern half of our area, and you can see there is an elevated risk just barely clipping parts of northern Anderson County. So right now, just large hail and damaging winds are the primary concern with any of the stronger storms we may see tonight, but that won't be until tonight. For the most of today, we're going to be clear. Again, some passing clouds here or there. Could see a couple of stray evening showers in our far northern counties, but it won't be until after 10 that we actually see the thunderstorm activity begin to build in out there. And once we head overnight, again, some of these storms, while they'll be scattered, could be strong, potentially severe. And they will continue through at least the first portion of our Saturday, maybe a few stray showers by the afternoon. Then we'll have a pause in activity by the evening hours ahead of additional shower and thunderstorm development as we head overnight and into Sunday morning across the area. And then we have the potential for maybe a few additional scattered storms on our Sunday. So tomorrow, again, mainly tomorrow night into Sunday morning, we do have another low risk across the entire area at this point for strong to low grade severe thunderstorms, and then again maybe a few isolated to widely scattered showers and storms for our Sunday. Outside right now, again, clear skies, 58 in Joplin, east breeze at 3, so it is a bit on the cool side. Temperatures out there, we've got this little area here where it is warmer in the south and west. We've got mid-upper 60s, elsewhere upper 50s and some low 60s, so unseasonably cool. Again, not like the temperatures are necessarily bad, they're just pretty chilly for this time of year. Sunny skies through the morning, and because of that south breeze bringing in much warmer air, 82 by 11 o'clock this morning, ahead of highs into the upper 80s, pushing close to 90. Again, a few passing clouds here and there, otherwise sunny skies. Then clouds gradually increase a bit heading into the evening. We'll go partly cloudy through the evening, and again, they'll continue to increase overnight down to 70, fairly mild out there with those thunderstorm chances. We'll be pushing even closer to 90 for our Saturday about 89. And then with the clouds and the rain and maybe some thunderstorms between Sunday and Monday, a little cooler, temperatures into the upper 70s. We'll have an opportunity to clear out Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That also allows us to warm back up out there. And then we'll see some additional shower and thunderstorm chances as we head into next weekend. So unfortunately, Mother Nature at this point not playing nice with our weekend plans at all. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Well, North Carolina hairdresser says a longtime client saved her life. She had a stroke while washing the volunteer firefighter's hair. And as Jackie Pascal reports, he knew exactly what to do next.
Amy Shoemaker spends a lot of time here.
He was so sweet, though.
At her hair salon in Winston-Salem.
So she doesn't have rootage.
But especially
right here. Me in the bowl.
At the shampoo bowl. But one wash was almost her last.
We were just joking around like we normally do.
She was washing client Brent Sharp's hair, as she has for 30 plus years. But for the first time, she didn't laugh at his joke.
She didn't say anything, and right after that, she fell on the floor.
And I literally went down like a tree. Went just boom, right there on the floor.
Shoemaker didn't realize she was having a stroke, but luckily Sharp is a firefighter and EMT and saw the signs.
And their drawn face, she had on one side, speech was very slurred, and then weakness on one side.
These are classic symptoms Novant doctor Maury Brown says we should all look out for.
So you look for balance, you look for eye problems, facial droop.
Those are the first three letters of the acronym to remember BFAST. A is for arm weakness, and S, speech slurring. T, time, is the final and most crucial letter. You want to call 911 immediately.
It doesn't take anybody specially trained to recognize that there's something different going on with someone and making that phone call to 911.
And within 45 minutes, I was on my way to surgery. That's remarkable timing.
Shoemaker says she is incredibly grateful for the quick action of Sharp in the moment, and even his delay beforehand. He was late to the appointment.
I figured it was better that she didn't have scissors in her hand when she fell. That's probably a good outcome.
Brett said I could have lost what hair I did have. Or an ear. Brett has a rite of passage to always be late if he needs to. It's okay.
And speaking of firefighters, a first for the Fort Worth Fire Department in its 131-year history. A grandparent and grandchild became the department's first active duty firefighters. Don White has the story.
Training at the Fort Worth Fire Department's burn building is one of the toughest things these recruits do.
It was so tough, mentally and physically.
Alira Turpin and about 4 dozen other recruits in Class 94 had to learn time management skills while in the academy.
You get home and you're exhausted, but you have to stay up and you have to study. You have to get here early. You have to study more. You have these tests that you can't fail.
She passed all her tests and joined 2 other graduating classes to officially become a Fort Worth firefighter.
At the twilight's last gleaming.
I know it sounds really cliche, but it's just always been something in the back of my mind.
A very proud man stood in the back of the room watching Alira's big moment.
Growing up, I got to watch him. I wasn't too familiar with it when I was younger. I just knew my papa's a firefighter. He does this cool job. I'm always seeing pictures of him and standing in flames and saving horses.
Alira's grandfather, Lieutenant Mike Walters, has served the City of Fort Worth Fire Department for 37 years.
Watching her graduate from here was, to me, it was more touching to me than graduating from high school. I never dreamt that any of them would want to follow my footsteps.
The pair are making history. They're the first active duty grandparent and grandchild to work together since the department formed 131 years ago.
The history of it, that's pretty astounding.
I think that's insane. It's a really cool thing to be a part of.
The family may have more history in the making.
I've got a grandson who's waiting for a letter from the city to see if he's going to be invited into the next class or not. Then it'll be 2 grandkids on the job. Then I can retire.
people that I didn't even know would come up to me and say, your grandpa's a legend. You have big shoes to fill. You have a lot to live up to. I obviously have a lot to do to fill those shoes, but I also want to build something of my own as well.
In his granddaughter's eyes, Lieutenant Walters sees himself
It was a cool one. It was a crane rescue.
as he feels the pride in this family tradition of serving the community carry on.
It's great to see that young firefighter follow in her grandfather's footsteps, all the while making some Texas history. Stick around, we'll be right back. One of Major League Baseball's biggest rivalries take their beef across the pond. Beloved baseball mascots Mr. and Mrs. Met of the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies, Philly Fanatic, having a ball in the iconic London Eye in a spirited meeting ahead of the highly anticipated MLB World Tour. The Mets are set to square off against the Phillies in a 2-game series on June 8th and 9th. The matchup between the two NL East teams is the third series in the MLB has played in London. One of America's favorite sweet treats gets its own day twice a year. The first National Donut Day of the year is today, and this one honors the Salvation Army women who served the pastry to soldiers during World War I. And it's obvious how to celebrate. Enjoy some donuts. Pick some up at the grocery store or coffee shop or donut shop, or if you're ambitious, you can make your own at home. And here's a fun fact. America eats 10 billion donuts a year. That's about 31 donuts per person.
Yeah, I'm probably at about 500 million donuts individually, but they are good and they come in so many amazing flavors. And today's a good day to get out and enjoy a donut. And a great morning as well if you want to head out and buy some this morning. Sunny skies as we get the day underway. A southerly breeze at about 5 to 10, bringing in much warmer air, so we're up to 82 by 11 o'clock this morning. Some clouds here and there, otherwise sunny skies. Temperatures much warmer today thanks to that southerly breeze. Upper 80s, some of you probably pretty close to 90 degrees. Clouds gradually increase through the evening. We'll start to go partly cloudy. Still pretty mild out there, 78 by 10 o'clock. We've got lows tonight about 70, and we've got thunderstorm chances increasing as we head into the late evening and overnight hours. And some of those could be strong to low-grade severe with maybe some large hail and gusty winds. As we head into our Saturday, we'll have some scattered showers and thunderstorms for the first half of the day. We'll get a pause by late afternoon, early evening, and then we'll see thunderstorms again overnight Saturday into Sunday. And those storms Saturday night into Sunday could again be strong to low-grade severe with damaging winds and large hail, the primary concerns. Warmer even tomorrow, 89. With all the rain and cloud cover between Sunday and Monday, temperatures do cool back a bit. We'll go into the upper 70s, and then we'll clear out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That allows us to warm back up into the mid to upper 80s ahead of additional shower and thunderstorm chances heading into next weekend. And that's the check of your forecast. We've got a whole nother hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.